Hi lovelies, and welcome to my channel and welcome back to another psychic reading. This week it's for Bruno Mars. If you like this video, please remember to hit a big lovely thumbs up, subscribe to join our lovely family for more videos like this every single week, and leave your favourite Bruno Mars song down in the comments below. So, this is really funny. If you've been following me from the very beginning, you will know that when I first started this channel, this was a reaction videos channel, and I did a series on Bruno Mars with and a lot of following, and those videos are very sentimental to me. They mean a lot to me, and it was a very special time because it showed to me that if I really want to do this, I can do it, and it was leading me to make these videos, which were the videos I was meant to make. So for this to be the last kind of reading, as it were, for 2019 that you guys have chosen, it's very, very special, and I'm very, very happy. So yes, let's get into reading for Bruno Mars. Very, very interesting character, and when I was connecting with his energy, Spirit kept taking me back to him as a child, and I feel like that's very important because I feel like his childhood has laid out, as it has for most of us, but his childhood has really laid out the path for the rest of his life. Now, they talked about him being a child and being all-knowing, and as I delved further in, I realised Bruno Mars is empathically, intuitively psychic. So Bruno Mars is the kind of person that if you met him, and he's very open about it, he would be like, I know you, and he can read energy very well. So he's like, he'll meet you and he'll be like, you want to do this and you want to do that, and you're going through this right now, and he can pick up on people's emotions very, very easily. Spirit tell me he's very, very sensitive, but not in an emotional way, but he's very, very sensitive and picks up very, very much on people's energy. I get with Bruno Mars that he's actually very nonchalant, and I couldn't put my finger on the word for it, but it's nonchalant. He's very much go with the flow. He's like, if something goes wrong, it's like, meh, that's how it's meant to be. He's very understanding of the pattern of life, and he's very in flow with that. Now, he's also someone who loves this realm of things. He loves magic, he loves mystic, he loves mysteriousness. When I first connected with him, Spirit said he's a very mysterious person. So he doesn't like to walk red carpets. He doesn't like to be in the midst of fame. He doesn't want all the attention on him. He actually likes to watch it from the outside. So if he attends an award premiere or show or whatever you call them, he doesn't actually like to walk the red carpet. He would prefer to go in a side door, just appear, just magically be there, and then he likes to just disappear. He doesn't like to stay the whole time. He likes to just get in and get out as if like a myth. He likes to be like a myth, like a urban legend within the industry. But he's actually having a very hard time in the industry right now, and I feel quite sad with Bruno Mars. I feel he doesn't show it. It's not something he shows on his face, because I feel with him he's very passive. He doesn't get very angry. Like I said, he's very go with the flow. So when people are coming at him trying to, you know, antagonize him, he's like, okay, okay. Like, people can't get to him in that way because he's very emotionally mature. He's very, very wise. He's ahead of his time. He's beyond his years. He's not, I don't know how old he is, but I think as a child, probably from the age of like 5, he was acting like a 30-year-old. Like, he's very mature in the way he handles situations. And so I can just see him at this table, and I feel like it's at a record company. I feel like they're being like, you need to put an album out, you need to do this, and if you don't, I feel like they're putting so many restrictions on him. And Bruno Mars does not like restrictions. He does not like to conform. And so instead of throwing his toys out of the pram and rebelling and shouting and screaming, he just goes, okay, okay. And he nods and he plays along. And Spirit tell me they're tapping on their hand like this. They're saying he's buying time. He just keeps agreeing and then doesn't follow through, and or he'll disappear. See, he likes this. He likes this man, I feel like this man would have been a magician. Had he have not been a musician, he would have been a magician, because he likes to disappear. So I feel like he tells the record company, okay, I'll be in the studio on Tuesday, and Tuesday he's nowhere to be seen. And then he'll appear on Thursday to the studio and be like, oh, I thought we booked it in for Thursday. And then he'll disappear, and he's playing games. He's very tactical, he's very smart, but because he's such a nice person, he's getting away with it. The record labels aren't smart enough to realise yet that he's playing them, but he's just buying time until his contract ends because he wants to get out from the company that he's in. So yeah, he's playing these games. Really, really strategic and smart, Bruno. Very, very clever. This is a man who likes his own space, his own company. He likes to be alone. I don't feel like he handles relationships very well. When we're talking about relationships, it's relationships with women. He is attracted to women. He's not attracted to men. But because of his energy and his empathicness, he can come across as if he would be interested in men in that way. But he's not. He is straight. He doesn't like to get close to people. I feel very isolated with him. It's like, I will keep you at a distance, and I'm watching you and I'm watching you and I'm watching everyone, and I know you're there, but I don't want to be too connected or too close to anyone. He finds it hard to be intimate with people and form very close bonds. He's not someone you can get very close to very easy. He's like a lone soldier. He's really like a lone soldier, but he's okay with it. I feel like he's been here many, many times before because his energy and his spirit just feel old and very old and wise, as if he's walked this path many, many times, and that's why he can walk it alone. And I feel like he will come back, and I feel like he will talk about what he's been through. I feel like he may come back as a independent artist, and also an artist who may sign up for people. So I feel like there's his own record label to be created, but I feel like he's got to get out of the record, the thing that he's in, the contract that he's in, and he's just simply buying the time to be able to do that now. So let's read on Bruno Mars. Let's pull some cards. Bruno Mars. Yeah, he loves this magic stuff. Okay, we're gonna put that there. Okay. Ooh, Bruno Mars. Okay, Bruno Mars. Okay. Bruno Mars. Okay. Bruno Mars. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bruno Mars. Okay. Yeah, there is a loving. Okay, we'll tap on that. Bruno Mars. I'm not surprised to see this. Bruno Mars. Yep. Bruno Mars. Okay, we'll take both because they both came out. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Bruno Mars's relationships right now are completely out of sync, and I feel like he could actually be in relationship with a woman, but this also talks about the relationship he has with his work colleagues, his label, his family, everything. It's all out of sync. The reason I know that the Two of Wands went upright talks about a reliable partnership, someone you can depend on, someone you can trust, and it's tied to the Ace of Cups. So this is his love. These are the things that he loves. These are the things he has passion about. These are the things he cares for. But the Two of Wands is reversed. So it means that the relationships are dying. They're not as they should be. And actually that's his love for the career and the path he chose, which is actually deeply saddening him, because this is a person that as a child, he doesn't want the fame. He didn't want any of that. He just wanted to make music. He looked up to artists like Michael Jackson, like James Brown, and he really wanted to be like them. He really did. And like, they're showing me him as a child and performing. And he got into the industry, and it just saddened him when he realised what it actually was. And so that's why that Two of Wands is reversed, because it's inequality. I feel like there's also money that's owed to Bruno Mars, so I feel like he hasn't been paid fairly. It's like his management and his label got a way bigger cut than he ever did, so he never made as much money as he should have. But that's not here, because Bruno Mars isn't actually that fussed about the money. That's not what he lives for. He's someone that's driven by passion and by purpose rather than material things. I feel like Bruno Mars could be fine with very, very little. He'd be okay. The King of Swords and the Devil. So this again is talking about the label. The King of Swords is someone who leads a fight. He's an authoritative figure who, when we're talking about our jobs and our careers, that would be our management. So that's the same for Bruno. The King of Swords is representational of his label and of his management. The Devil is being tied to something that does not serve you. I feel like there's a man that owns this label, and I don't know why, but Spirit keeps saying Sony. So I don't know if or Columbia. I don't know who Bruno Mars is signed to, but I feel like the head of this record label is a man. And I feel like this man, Spirit are telling me, he's doing it to a lot of artists. He's really taking advantage. And I feel like Bruno Mars, this man's very cunning. He's very sly, and Bruno Mars trusted him. Now, Bruno Mars is actually quite angry at himself in this instance because, like I said, he's able to read people, he's able to read people's energy, but this guy has conned him and he's not very happy about it. But he's tied to it at the moment. He is tied to it. And he's waiting for the contract to end. And I feel like we're not far off it. I feel like he's been prolonging this and trying to prolong just getting out of this contract for a long time. So yeah, Four of Wands actually talks about satisfaction is tied to the sun. So there will be a point where he cuts ties with this label and he starts again. This new start for him, I feel like it will be as an independent artist. And if it's not an independent artist, he will join the record label of a friend. I feel like it's a man in the industry that he knows that he should have joined in the beginning. Bruno Mars has had an amazingly successful career, but Spirit actually tells me it could have been bigger. Had he have followed the correct people, Spirit are telling me Def Jam specifically. I feel like he should have signed to Def Jam Records. I don't know who he signed to. It's going to bother me. I'm going to look it up in a minute, but whoever he signed to was the wrong fit for his music. And he beat himself up about that a lot because he's like, oh, I knew it. He knew it as soon as he signed the paper, and then it was too late because he was contractually bound to them. So the contract will end, and he will be satisfied with that, and it will create a new beginning. However, I feel like very quickly on, when Bruno Mars entered the music industry, he realised very quickly, like, his excitement for it burned out very, very quickly. He got very, very bored very, very soon. And the Four of Cups does talk about boredom. So I feel like this is a man who's not satisfied for very long. I feel like his excitement is never prolonged, which is why he finds it hard to stay in a loving, committed relationship for a long time, because he gets bored very, very easily. That's the Four of Cups. And the Seven of Swords attached to that is basically telling you to beware. Because I feel like as he does try and branch out on his own, there will be people coming after him. Bruno Mars is again someone who's similar energy to Will and Jada's Pinkett Smith, but not exactly the same. But he sees things and he's taking mental notes, and he knows exactly what's going on in the industry. He's not blinded by anything, and I feel like he wants, oh gosh, okay, I'm gonna be entirely honest with the energy that I feel here, because they compare him a lot to Prince, and I know that people do that anyway because of the way he performs, and they're comparing him a lot to Michael Jackson. And when I first tapped into him, I thought it was because of the performance style. But as I go further into this and I delve further into this kind of energy, I feel that actually it's because it's some kind of a cult thing that he wants to get out of. And they are not going to let him go very easily. He got way in over his head. He thought he was getting into something it wasn't. And that's why now he wants to disappear. And I feel like, honestly, with Bruno Mars, when I did the initial shuffle, like I always do to get the person's energy into the cards, the Hermit card flipped over. And I was like, because I feel like if he had his way, he would probably go to a hut in the middle of the safari or the woods, and he would just live on his own and not talk to anyone. And I feel like he would do that with his guitar and maybe a radio, and he would be perfectly fine. I don't feel like this is a man that wants to be in the spotlight anymore. He wants to make music, but he doesn't want to be in the spotlight. And that's what brings us to here. So Justice card is about weighing up options. So he's like, well, what do? I've got 2 options here now. I overstay in this industry and I have people try and bring me down like they did to Michael Jackson, create rumours about me and try and, you know, destroy my image, and or I just leave and I take what I've done and I take my wins and I bail out. And I feel like that decision is still to be made, but I do feel like Bruno Mars's career is not going to go much further than what we've seen. I do feel like there will be one more tour, and I do feel like we could see one more album, but I don't feel like it will be next year. If it is next year, it will be towards the end of next year. There's too much on the line for him to continue in this world of things. So lots of love and light to Bruno Mars. His energy is very protected. It took me a long time to even crack in or get in. He is an outsider. I feel like he's always been an outsider from a young child, and I feel like he likes it that way. He doesn't want to be emerged. He doesn't want to be tied down to anyone or anything, and he likes it that way. Oh. Please leave a lovely comment or your favourite Bruno Mars song down in the comments below. Hit a lovely thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see videos like this every single week. And I will see you soon for another video, lovelies. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!